not more about exclusivity or inclusivity, but rather performance. Let's pick several people. Look at Matiang'i. He's been able to bring out a serious performance on the KCPE and the KCSE. As a matter of fact, this is somebody who has changed the entire way we look at education in this country. Not in one particular, no, we cannot point fingers in Kisii, where he comes from, Matiang'i, but the entire country. We are now getting somebody, you in this broadcast, I mean, yes, in your media house, you brought in the young girl who had passed. I mean, look at that. This is somebody who has now, we are looking at education in a different way. The marks that we used to see, the people who used to get A's from here to Timbuktu, is not happening. People are getting grades that you can see. My goodness, we are getting somewhere. When you look at electricity, the penetration, it's not only happening in one area, you know, and this is the convoluted mentality the politicians have actually been boxing Wanjiku. All right, they come and tell you, you know, this government is made up of only 2 tribes. Look at the SGR. It does not even serve where those 2 tribes come from. When you look at Lamu, all right, those are the things that I want Kenyans to be looking at. Performance. It is not who is seated there. And this is something that Nelson Mandela taught us very well. It is not the years that this person serves. It is the credibility of his term or her term in office. So, Hussein, we need, and the onus is on us and the government to actually use their scorecard to educate the masses, to tell them this is where we were in 2013 and this is where we are. Because when you look at tribes and performance, it does not matter, Bwana Wakili, how long you will live. Those two will never find a place of convergence. Because what we'll be telling you, you have not put our own in there. And when you put their own, one of theirs, Senator, the kind of rubbish that person comes in, we saw just in the Supreme Court, when people were, you know, when you would attack a judge here, and the entire tribe comes out. Don't touch ours. Who you knew to? You are not caring about the performance or the credibility of what that person brings in. All you care is that he speaks the same, he comes from your area, and that is a lie we have bought to. Why don't we just sit back and say, hang on a minute, it does not matter who we bring on that platform, as long as they are able to deliver. If it's a service, if it's a national service like education or healthcare, our sites must now be trained to really what matters. Am I getting the same education as that child is? Am I getting the same health service? If I go to Senator's backyard, and if I go to Lamu, and if I go to Kisumu, is it the same? And if it's not the same, why are the people within that locale, why are they not living up to the promise? That is where the problem is.
My good friend Gabriel was celebrating that the octogenarian of Zimbabwean politics has gone home.
Oh, was I celebrating?
He must have celebrated that Mugabe has gone home. Why was Mugabe being thrown out? He wanted to bring his wife to take over. So you cannot say it is the question of performance. The performance and the inclusivity of every Kenyan in that performance is paramount. That is where the political class says, my good senator, represent the interest first of Nandi County. First, because those were his voters.
And remember, there's still nothing wrong with Mugabe. Grace Mugabe coming in.
I still don't find anything wrong. Has the qualification of being a citizen and somebody above the age. But the question that people forget is that even the legal parameters and constitutional parameters have talked about the face of the republic. So, this government, and I'm sure State House is watching now, I'm definite that very many Jubilee people are going to cry badly because the president's legacy is now going to be all-inclusive. Two, he's talked of my very good classmate, the Minister for Education. You can see results when the appointment is not politically attached. The problem in this nation is that people who land positions of government appointments have been brought as stooges under the principle of patronage to sit and head a parastatal, to sit and head a ministry. They have no freedom to work. But out of 21 cabinet secretaries, show us the cabinet secretaries that are independent, performance-based. Very few. Out of the parastatal heads that we have, show us, when you look at Kenya Power, you will see results all over the whole country. So in my own view, Hussein, my position is that we need that discussion where we are putting people based on performance, based on inclusivity, and result-based approach. And be the political class. My problem is one, the political class. How do we tame them?
Okay, I'll get the winding remarks from Honorable Opiyo Wandayi.
Well,
so I mean, for you, it still remains the same. You're not going to have any talks unless it's about electoral justice. That's what you're talking about.
You know, Hussein, as I've said before, this country belongs to all of us. Yeah, and that must be appreciated by whoever happens to be in power. And going forward, you may do all these things you're talking about, but that will amount, in my view, to window dressing. Will amount to tackling the symptoms rather than the root cause of the disease that is ailing us as a country. So we must be able to be honest with ourselves and trace back to where the rain started beating us. And unless and until we do that, all these will be in vain. As NASA, we still maintain that we stand with the people of Kenya, majority of whom are against this charade that we are calling a transition of power. Yeah.
Oh, no,
I want to say finally that I want to thank all Kenyans, despite many issues and electioneering period that was very very intense, and they have maintained the sobriety across the country. I want to say now Kenyans are tired of issues of elections and politics. We need to move on, and I think I want to, as the president has insisted, we need to start the healing process of this country. Number two, and then we need to continue doing transformation agenda of like SGR. We need, the president has already indicated that we need to extend all the way to Kisumu, with the also connection of electricity to many homes across this country. There are so many opportunities that we want young people to look at, and also we want devolution, because it is very important for us senators that we want these the governors to be given opportunity to serve the electorate, and we hope this devolution will work for the gains of all of us across the region. And therefore, all these issues we want to call upon Kenyans, let us, going forward, let us maintain peace. This country, and the president has insisted that the talks and the reach out we'll have is across the entire country. It is not across a few people who are power hungry or they want power by all means. And I think that is a point that we want to see. We want to engage all Kenyans, 45 million plus Kenyans going forward, and even extra 43 Makonde tribe that we have in this country.
Okay, thank you very much. That is Samson Cherargei, who is the Nandi. Senator Opiyo Wandayi, MP Vunja. Gabriel Mudhuma is a political analyst, and so is Danson Omari, also a lawyer. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you.
This morning on Citizen Next, we're taking a short break now. Still more ahead, including more celebrations for Goldaline Kakuya, the top candidate in the KCPE exams, who scored 455 marks. She will be celebrated shortly by the Albinism Society. We'll be live after this break.